Hey everyone, how you doing?
Hello.
What's going on?
Hey.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? We're back for season 2.
Woo, woo, woo. Season 2, yeah. Okay, guys, you don't have to be nervous, okay? Smile, have fun, enjoy yourself.
We're not at all.
No, I'm not nervous.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Everybody
We're
calm,
just
that's
tired.
good, that's good. Well, I just want to say welcome to season 2. Woo! We made it to season 2. And I want to thank everyone for joining and for watching our first episode in our season 2. So as we're doing that, we're just going to ask Jonathan if he can just lead in prayer, and then we'll get to it.
Okay, let's bow our heads. Dear Father in heaven, thank you for your consistency, your guidance and your protection, Lord. Look after us, help what we discussed today, for someone to gain something from it, Lord. Bless us, bless everything we do, and protect us. In your precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So, guys, as obviously you'll be able to see, we are joined with our 2 guest couples. So we just want to thank you guys for being a part of it. We want to thank the McFarlanes. We have Kenya and Mario, and the Bantons. We have Michaela and Anthony. So thank you so much for taking the time out to join us. And obviously we have to special thanks to the Bantons because of the time difference.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it so much.
Absolutely.
So yeah, guys, the McFarlanes, if you just want to introduce yourselves, like I think we take it for granted that everyone will just know who we are, but they don't. So yeah, if you just want to tell us a little bit about who you are, and then the Bantons, you can do the same.
All right. My name's Mario McFarlane.
And I'm Kenya McFarlane.
I work as a digital marketeer.
I do everything. I do everything. I don't think I have a job. What do I do? What don't I do?
Nat Jew, yes.
Yeah, Nat Jew, yeah.
But yeah, and I think an interesting thing about us is that we both actually come from Jamaica, and we both arrived in England in the same year, at the same age.
We were made for each other. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
How long have you guys been married?
Been married for 6 years, but we've been together since 2010. So yeah, 10 years.
Oh, that's nice.
Lovely.
Guys, Mr. and Mrs. Banton.
Hi. So I'm Michaela.
And I'm Anthony.
Banton. Not McFarfore anymore. I was going to say Michaela McFarfore now.
Oh, you definitely a Banton.
Long time change.
Definitely a Banton, babe.
I'm a teacher, and so is Anthony. We're both teachers. Been teaching for like 9 years now. 10 years.
Good.
2 children, 2 boys, and we're currently living in Dubai.
Oh. And how long have you guys been married?
Sunshine.
10 years?
No, not yet. This year will be 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Guys, you can work.
Listen, we were all in the same year.
Yeah.
It feels it may as well be 10. It may as well be 10 years.
Yeah.
That was a deep. That year was serious, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a lot of weddings, like week after week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was madness.
Okay, so this episode we'll be discussing some practical ways to keep the spark alive. Okay, so let's take it back a few years. I know, as we've spoken about, well, we've been married. Myself. I didn't get married by myself.
No.
Marcus and I, and the
Anthony,
Bantons,
yeah.
and the Lawrences, we all got married in the same year, as we've just said. Literally, like, it was weeks apart. Like, and we were all involved in each other's weddings. So I remember Anthony and Michaela, they had to like postpone their honeymoon just so that they could be at our wedding and all of this stuff, because Anthony was one of our groomsmen. So yeah, there was a lot going on. So how when you take it back to the honeymoon stage, is there such a thing? Do you think that there is such a thing as the honeymoon period, or is that something that just continues to go and, you know, you're living through a honeymoon period, or what do you think?
How long is the honeymoon period? Is it like an average? Is it a year? Is it 3 years, 5 years? I don't know. Because sometimes you talk to people who have been married for like 63 years deep, and they'll be like, "Oh, the first 10 years of our marriage was our honeymoon today."
That's long. 10 years is a long honeymoon period still.
But in comparison to 60 plus years,
okay,
it's
so
not really
proportionate to the amount of time.
I think some people say it's the first second.
I don't know if there's like an amount of time. I think definitely, like, I think even with the McFarlanes, they can like relate to this because they've been together for like 10 years. I think you go through waves, I would say, of where everything's great in other aspects, which naturally mean your relationship is almost effortless, I think. If all the factors around, so if work's great, you know, finances are great, friendships are great, things are great at church, or whatever other external factors are going really well, I feel like it just means that when you come home in your little bubble, then that's great too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's like a time where that happens. I think you just might go through changes and like little waves where there might be like a hiccup outside that has an effect. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't say like the first year is perfect. I wouldn't say the first 6 months are perfect. Because what if someone loses their job in the first 6 months? Like, that's definitely going to happen. I think relationship is a little bit too deep for this time of night, but yeah.
We were always warned about this 7-year hump.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else was told about
I've heard of that before.
Yeah, this 7-year hump. So obviously, coming up to 7 years anniversary, we're like, oh no.
and then any argument that we'd had would be like, oh, it's the 7 years, it's the 7 years. That's why we're arguing so much.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, you've never heard of it? Yeah. We were told about this 7 year. If you've passed the 7-year stage and that's it, you've made it. You know, you can keep going if you pass the 7 year.
Yeah.
No idea. I personally think that there is a honeymoon period where, you know, everything each one of you say is like, oh yes, babe, oh yes. Like Cherie used to laugh at me. Cherie used to laugh at me all the time because when we first got married, I took a lot of time in like spreading the bed. I thought that was really important, and I used to get rose petals and throw it on because I thought it looked pretty. But then Cherie was like, "What are you doing?"
That didn't even last 7 years. That probably didn't even last half a year.
It didn't even last 7 days, mate.
I was going to say was, I think the honeymoon period, I mean, for us, we were actually together for about 5 years before we were married. So it's kind of like, I don't know how long this honeymoon period is supposed to last, but if it's meant to be like a year, that had already happened for us because we'd already been together before 5 years before we got married. So it's kind of like after we got married, I feel like we didn't have a separate honeymoon period. If you get what I mean?
I think we agree. I think with us, I think it's a similar thing in the sense of when you first get together, the allure of not kind of knowing each other in each other's ins and outs. I think that's probably where that comes in. And I think just in general, people probably get married a lot sooner after they get together, like a year or two or whatever. But for me and Kenya, we were together like 4 years, 5 years. So I feel like we had that at the very beginning of just being together. But
and then when we got married again, living together, there was another honeymoon period because it's like, oh, I'm living with this guy now.
This is what I was just going to say. I was just going to say that. I was going to say, don't you find like that there's a difference? So like obviously you have that time where you're courting and you're in a relationship and you know you don't want to eat because you just love is just filling your belly and you just so all you can think about is the other person and you know. And then obviously you have that in the courting stages, but then when you do get married, I feel like Kenya's just said, there is a change. There is something that changes.
Definitely.
I absolutely wanted to eat more because it was more like a contentment.
Because it's like, I'm married to you now, you can't go nowhere now.
Yeah, nah.
Yo, that's getting
I agree with
complacent.
that, to
That
be
is.
fair.
That's getting too complacent.
I don't know about
Yeah, I think-
complacent. We're just happy. It's
Yeah.
contentment.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, no, I agree in the sense of obviously. I think it's when you're both learning something together, especially as you said, like when you first come to actually live together, when it's that kind of gaining that first kind of bits of knowledge about each other in that specific circumstance. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, adding to that, I also think, sorry, that you kind of go through like a honeymoon period every time there's a massive change in your life anyway.
Yeah.
So you kind of go through like a new beginning with that person every time something different happens in your life. So, for example, us buying a house and moving in, 4 years into, I'm going to move in here 2 years. So 7 years into being married, then we bought a house. It was almost like another new experience.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll probably be the same for the Bantons when they move to Dubai, kind of like a new experience, rediscovering each other. You learn again, haven't you? You can do something different.
So I
something
guess
I was going to add to that as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, like what you were saying, something new. Also, it's that whole. Oh, I've lost my train of thought now because I'm thinking about what you're saying about there being like something new that kind of makes you.
Come on,
relive
Jonathan,
that.
finish it off. You should be in her head now.
Yeah, it's all right. It will come back to me after.
No, mate, not this time.
Okay, so after let's start with Mario and Kenya. After 6 years of marriage, how do you feel?
About each other or in general?
Well, okay, let's go about the marriage in general, and that could also
Marriage in
include
general,
how you feel about Kenya and how you feel about just how you feel within the marriage as well.
I feel I love Kenya's to absolute pieces. Like it's just and it sounds like cheesy or whatever, but now for real, because
No,
at
it
the
ain't
end of the
cheese.
day,
It's not cheese.
It ain't cheesy.
like. But
Say
just
that
saying in
on your
terms of
chest.
like the stuff that we've been through just in general is just like I don't know, man. It kind of solidifies you as a couple. You know what I mean? It kind of makes your foundation stronger, and having God at the center of it is just loving it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, she brought back the heart. She brought back the heart.
It was a
Wow.
hard moment.
What about you, Kenya?
Same for me. Like I still get butterflies. Like when I don't know what it is. It might just be because we're young, and I'm not saying. And I don't know. I still get butterflies. I still get really shy, kind of nervous when
nice.
he's around. But yeah, that's it really. And if he says one thing, like basic, because I get gassed really easily, so if Mario was to say something, I get really gassed, and I don't know. I guess it's a nice thing in our relationship, yeah. And he always compliments me, so it's like I'm waiting for another compliment, and if he doesn't do, I'm like, babe, did you compliment me today?
Did you not have something nice to say?
See, you're getting too used to it now. You need to stop it for a bit, Mario. Man, make her work for you.
I need to ease up a bit, Marcus.
No, don't ease up.
Just a little bit.
Whatever you do it right.
Just a
That's
smidge.
right. Like Kenya said, say it with your chest, yeah?
What about you, Anthony?
Every day I'm learning. Pardon?
And I was going to say, what about
I can hear Mario using them backyard bars. That's all I can hear.
Backyard bars, you know. Maybe.
We stand up in the name of love, you know.
My eyebrows, you know, maybe.
What about Anthony and Michaela? So after 9 years of marriage for you guys, how do you guys feel?
And 2 children later?
Yeah.
Something that Jonathan said just stood out to me, that this idea of just different stages in your life, and yeah, like I feel as though it is kind of like a new honeymoon period, because like we're in a different stage of our life, and it's just really nice to feel like you've grown up with each other.
Yeah.
So to have someone that knows you so well, is just really important to me.
Oh, that's nice.
And I guess like when you say like 9 years, like we've been together for that was just the wedding, the marriage. So like,
but yeah, it all feels new and fresh for me,
yeah, like it's especially like
despite the time.
but it's the fact that we've moved as well. That's like a whole like Jonathan was
It's a big
saying.
That's
change.
huge.
Yeah, it's a big change.
That's amazing. But in terms of like the way we feel, it's kind of like despite that it's been like what 13 years is it? I don't know if I've done that right. Like no, it's more than 13 years. So I was like 18 when we got together.
Yeah.
Oh no, like, well, then we should be able to figure out my age then. And then like when we first met, I think I was 15. So it's kind of like
I remember you.
yeah. I've still got that feeling.
Yeah.
Like Banton. Sometimes when do you remember back in the day Banton with his like
Camera.
his camera?
Yeah, man.
Doggy buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know, he's grown up and matured now. He's not that rude boy anymore that he used to be.
Yeah.
with the cameras.
Yeah.
The camera. Now,
That's what you fell in love with, though.
I feel like I get to look at you from far. I can't believe I've got you.
Yeah.
That feels nice.
Oh, I missed that. I missed it.
Say it with your chest.
You have to say it with your chest. Go. Sing it.
It's a heart's moment.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it that we're actually like I'm with the same person who I was seeing at church back.
Yeah.
Like it's just mad. Love. It's mad.
Love it.
It's nice.
And just for all those church people out there, where did you two meet?
We met at Aberdarin.
Amen.
Yes, Aberdarin.
Abadarin, prayer warriors, all them things, man.
Church events doing bits out here. Yeah.
So I think you guys have kind of answered my next question. You kind of answered my next question, which was kind of, it was going to be, do you feel now that your relationship or the light shines brighter for your partner now? 6 years in, 9 years in, 9 years plus in the marriage stage, I guess.
I think there's been like so many changes. Like for us, like the family, like we've got like 2 children as well, and I think like as you go through each stage and you're like building more of like your life together, like it's naturally going to shine brighter because like you're doing so much more together.
Yeah, man. What about Jonathan?
I think for us, definitely, you can see the difference in our relationship to when we were first together, to when we first got married, to how we are now, and it's just seems like a natural progression that you have with someone that you're spending so much amount of time with, because that person is not only now like it's your be all and end all, isn't it? It's your best friend and your wife and the mother of your children. And the whole moments together, and it continues. You know, your bank accounts together, so everything, your life is just fully intertwined. So being separated from that person at any point would be like, what on earth do I do now? And that's just obviously natural progression of spending that time with someone. So I'd expect, your light should be bright, and if it's not, you need to go and speak to some counsellors like the Rays.
Listen, our arms are always open, man. Our home's always open, just over Zoom right now, because obviously.
Yeah. Mara said no.
The point that I've remembered my point, and the point I was going to make, which is kind of not relevant but still relevant, is when you first move in with someone, my experience was it felt like I was being an adult, like I was, even though I was an adult, I felt like I was adulting.
You were grown, honey. You is grown now.
Big people too.
Yes, it just felt like, I don't know, like when you're a child and you like at primary, like you guys that are teachers, like, well, you guys are secondary, aren't you, absence? But like, in primary school when they do the whole, you're the mummy, I'm the daddy, and they play with the playhouse. To actually be in your own house with your own responsibilities with someone else, like, it's a big deal. And like, it's like, oh, so you kind of have to like process like, or look back at your experience as a child and things that your parents did, or your like the people that looked after you, what they did, to almost think how you should act in a certain situation. And it's exciting and new, and it's something that you've not done before. So I think that's what was like really exciting for us. And in terms of like how things have changed from, you know, 12, 13 years ago to now, like it's exactly, I think Jonathan hit the nail on the head. Like now, everything that I do is somehow connected to him. So like obviously we have our children together, our house, we're married, we push each other and support each other in terms of like career paths and stuff. And now there are more similarities in terms of what we do than there were before. So like, yes, we'll sit and ask each other questions, but it's more like having a different type of understanding as well of what that person's actually saying. So it's like, you're not just sitting there and just listening and smiling and nodding. You actually like have a bit more of an understanding. So like even the conversation's different. And I feel like because we're doing the whole studying at the same time and stuff like that, that makes it more exciting because I know that he's like rooting. Like I always say, like Jonathan's my biggest cheerleader, and he's like always like rooting me on, and like that really like I find that quite attractive. Like that excites me. I'm like, oh, he's really proud, or like, do you know what I mean? Like it's nice that someone can take that time to be concerned about you, kind of thing.
What for you guys? Just a quick question. Like, what does you know, keeping that spark look like every day? As in, are you walking around the house?
Lighting candles and laying
or you just having laughter together every day? Like
lighting candles and like laying out petals.
Well, I like a good candle. You know.
Who's
that question to?
Anyone?
Just to everybody in general.
Yeah.
Let's go with you guys first. What does keeping the spark alive look like every day for you?
So I guess for us it's a lot about I think keeping up appearances is a good one. And I think that kind of is a big thing. You know, as you can see, my beautiful wife here. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if she
don't, so basically,
if she dressed down and put on.
No, let me break it down for the people then. So what you're saying is, if I have my head tie on and you know, like
and then baggy pajamas,
face all dribble out and thing, and you know, you don't love me.
No, I still.
But when I keep up with appearances, it's okay.
No, what I'm saying is, I still love her. But what I'm saying is, sometimes we fall into a complacency that, oh well, I've got them now. Like Kenya was saying earlier on, I've got them now. I don't have to look a certain way anymore. I don't have to make an effort anymore. So I think it's about making that effort constantly. Whether it be in dress, whether it be in making an effort to spend quality time together.
For me, keeping the spark alive is very much about spontaneity. I like spontaneity. I like not expecting the same thing all the time. Like as much as routine is good, I like something out of the blue. I don't particularly like flowers, to be honest. I like artificial ones because they last longer. I like how flowers look. But I just like if he's to bring me home flowers or something, that's lovely, that's a great gesture. My mom loves flowers. Me personally, I'm like thanks, I appreciate it, but I'll be much happier with
a gift,
a good dessert.
That's like me.
You know, but like I like the spot. So it doesn't necessarily. I'm not saying it's a materialistic spontaneity. I don't mean I'm expecting gifts here, there, and everywhere. I just mean, you know, just
surprise. Just surprise.
Let's just switch off the TV now. Let's just talk. Let's have a moment. Let's just have some time where we talk about what you did today at work, or just where you're like, oh, okay, well that's not the norm. Let's just change that up. I'm quite happy with that kind of lifestyle. So I think those things are important for me personally.
To have a joke and a laugh in it. Have a joke and a laugh with each other. I think there's times when we just do stupidness together, and we'll be in hysterics over it. And
I don't do stupidness. I don't know what you're talking about.
There we go. Well, yeah, just you know those are the things that kind of brought us together in the first place.
Yeah.
So why stop those things? Those are the things you want to keep on going. So
That's
it's important to make them last.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, guys, so I did some research and I looked on something called psychalive.org.
Okay.
So according to them, there are 6 tips to keeping the flame burning in a long-term relationship. Okay, are you ready? So they are: number 1, to make sure that you have joyful time together. Number 2, be open to new experiences. Number 3, show your love, don't hold back. Number 4, keep your identity as an individual. Number 5, don't be defensive, engage in open communication. And number 6, remember to be generous. So I thought, there's some decent little tips there. But let's kind of just delve in a little bit more about how we can, what does that look like normally? What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? What practical ways can we implement them?
What was that first one that you said again?
Yeah.
The first one was make sure to have joyful time together.
Yeah, I think that's important, like making sure that you have that time, especially like when you have end up having a family and you have children, making that time for one another. I think that's important in trying to ensure that you like keep that spark alive, like having your time separate from family time.
And it can, I'm sure it can be as simple as like sitting down and playing a game of Uno, like just doing something that's gonna make you happy. Like, what was that, Sheree?
Yeah, definitely. So with those two, I think me and Sheree, we try and have that fun time together. So so we'll pull out a Scrabble board and we'll play Scrabble in the evenings.
I'm very intellectual.
Yeah, because basically I beat him all the time.
Definitely lies. Well,
So, okay. Who won the last game?
You won the game before that?
Me?
You didn't. We won one each anyway.
You need to get the notebook out.
Anyway.
Get the score pad.
Anyway, so I think Scrabble, like playing games, obviously, is a good way of just spending time together. And the same thing. Like sometimes just switch the TV off. We'll sit and just chat for an hour or so. Or sorry, another thing that we just having general banter, having fun. We love to have fun, love to have banter and jokes. We have little code names for things, and we have code names for people that we find funny as well. Example, there used to be a guy that used to live across the road from us, and because he had dreads and we didn't know his name, we just called him Capleton. And then between us, and that was it. Once we had that nickname for them, their name just sticks. She'll say, "Look up a name." She'll be like, "Oh, whatever." And I'm like looking at her like, "What are you on about?" Just Capleton. I'm like, "Where you sat in the beginning then?"
I would say, in our relationship, we're quite goofy with each other. Like, we don't take each other that seriously, and like everyone that knows Jonathan well just knows that he doesn't take things that seriously either. So often we'll play fight and we'll just be silly. We'll be laughing and joking about things. Jonathan has a thing about rapping and spitting bars around the house for just like very basic instructions, which stresses me out sometimes. But actually,
that drum and bass life.
It's fun and it just makes me laugh, so it's okay.
Even Caleb's tried to jump on it now.
Yeah, Caleb does it as well, so it's really irritating. But yeah, just like little things like that. Like we just try not to take things too seriously, because I think if you're too rigid and your conversation's quite mellow, like, and you'll get bored. And like just silly things. Like, we try to not take things like if something goes wrong or something's bad's happened. Like the other day we were playing fighting and I decided to throw the Vaseline moisturiser bottle at him, and it exploded all over the wall, the ceiling.
Hard, you know. Now you need to understand. She threw it and it exploded.
Oh my!
She threw it hard.
Because he was holding his hand, and he was holding my ankle, and I couldn't move.
At least she can hold her own. She can hold her own.
What if a Vaseline bottle's there?
It went everywhere, and I just thought, like, ordinarily.
Yeah, we.
But we just decided to laugh about it while we were cleaning it up. So yeah.
We never clean up.
Yeah, I had to clean up.
What What about you, McFarlane's? How do you have joyful time together? What makes you laugh? How do you spend those laughing moments?
All sorts. I say literally all sorts.
Yeah, like there's things like we play fight as well, but sometimes like I'll get flour or powder and then it's in Mario's Xbox earphones and then it just gets a bit. And then it's like, oh, who's gonna clean this up?
I love that.
Wow.
So, and it's even better now because it's like we've got our own house.
Yeah, going back to what Cherie said, like just the first time,
Look
like
at Jonathan's face.
there's times that we like.
I'm still in shock.
Honestly, I was too, Jonathan. I was too.
But then that made it a bit like Mario was like, oh, is that how you clean? Okay, I'm gonna get water. It's just a bit mad.
Oh no!
Where it's like, guys, you need to do that with paint.
They're not really hot.
Do it with paint and paint a room.
Oh,
That's the easiest way to do it. Don't do it with water and flour.
I'm sure. Did you turn the thing into dumpling with water and flour?
Listen,
Some dumpling dough.
I've now turned into a dumpling.
yeah, like we're still like your perception of like age and stuff comes into it as well. Because for me, like I feel sometimes the world likes to remind you that you're kind of getting older, but I'm like I don't see myself getting older.
Yeah,
I'm like I'm in my head I'm 21 still. Like I don't care. Like I do what I do.
I'm definitely 30.
I enjoy what I know what I like, and I enjoy it, and just being able to understand that and not let the world kind of get into you and get you down, and then that's how you kind of focus on the wrong things, and you think, oh, I'm old and whatever. No, man, forget that. Enjoy yourself. Like,
another thing is like if I'm getting cheeky, we're having an argument, Mario will turn around and be like, can you just do 10 press-ups? And he's serious. It's like, do 10 press-ups, and then I'll do my 10 press-ups, but next time when we're arguing, know that you're going to be running up and down the stairs 10 times. So it's just little things.
Forfeits, you know. Wow.
Like that. I think that's so good.
And like other things that we do, we go to separate gyms. So I go to my gym early and Mario will go to his gym a little bit after me. And then sometimes I'll surprise him at his gym if I'm wearing what I know he likes. So
Yes, honey.
All right.
Yeah.
Take time, Mario.
Yeah.
check time.
Get some little McFarlane. What you saying? Yes.
Yeah.
but you know the thing is, even if she comes to the gym, which I appreciate it comes to the gym, but I'm one of them people. Listen, she comes to the gym, if she's looking whatever, I don't care, you know, we're in gym time now. You've come to the gym. It's gym time. We're going in.
Focus. I like that.
Focus. Listen. She comes in, she's trying to come with a nice walk. I'm like, I see you with a walk, but get on the bench press, let's go.
I'll see you after.
Yeah. As soon as you exit the gym, goes, oh, you're right there. Oh, so great.
Okay, so the next point is to be open to new experiences. So can you, Anthony and Michaela, you are bang on for this one.
Yeah. Biggest ambassadors.
But yeah, definitely being open to new experiences. I mean, what a new experience. You have gone across the globe. So what was that like? Like, let us know. How did you feel initially? Was it something that you both said, yeah, let's do it? What did you think?
Yeah, it's like it's something that we both wanted to do, so it wasn't like a difficult decision to make. But I definitely feel that this whole new experience of coming here to Dubai and like just basically starting again. It's kind of like a bit like when Jonathan was saying when he moved into his new house with Cherie. They've got their house together now, and they're just basically going through that honeymoon period again. You could say that's what you want to call it. But it is like, yeah, we're sharing a completely new experience together, and we're doing the same job as well. So we're doing like we're sharing a new experience together in the same job. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things, like actually doing new things together.
Yeah.
Even with when it comes to like, at the moment, I'm kind of like, I need to sort out my weight. So I've been looking at basically focusing on what I'm eating, making sure I'm eating properly, going to the gym every morning. But like, we're both on it together. We're both, like, it's a new experience for both of us.
Yeah.
I would say. So, well, no, not as if, no, you used to go gym before.
But I guess the method that we're using to try and lose weight, like doing the same method.
Yeah, we're doing the same kind of things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like basically doing this new thing again together is again kind of like, I don't know, kind of, yeah, like keeping that spark. I think that's the word I would use, literally.
Yeah, I get it.
It creates that quality time for you guys, doesn't it? So it's kind of, as you say, it's a new thing you're doing together. It's a motivation together. It's an encouragement for each other. Yeah, it's important. It's important.
Do any of you guys try new things? I'm just thinking, like, what new things? I mean, I tried to get Shireen to jiu-jitsu, and she I think she's ready. She's ready. COVID messed it up. Yeah, COVID messed it up. Yeah.
Listen, I was about it. I'll hit the mats.
I think
trying new things for us. What new things do we try? Jonathan don't like to. Jonathan's a bit funny, you know. He's I'm an old man. He's really like, his thing is basic. If I haven't done it before, why do I need to do it now? In some aspects, in especially food. Yeah, like if he hasn't tried something.
Me too.
Yeah. If he hasn't tried something, he's like, oh, I'm 35, like I don't need to.
I've got through this far, I don't need it.
Carry on when your children start saying that to you about their meals. Oh, I'm 10, I don't need to try this again. I don't need to try this. I'm old enough.
Just yum your food down quiet, isn't it?
I don't know, I can't think of anything that would do that. I guess new things for us are probably like a little bit bigger than, so obviously like career changes, going to university, but things like that aren't like small new things. And I wouldn't really class like going out and doing stuff like that as new, because they're just things that you kind of like, that's like a rolling thing that you do from time to time.
I guess sharing experiences with, sharing landmarks with the kids are probably new experiences.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like travelling with our children and stuff like that. Yeah.
How do you feel about this, guys, while we're on this topic? So, okay, say for example, you've been to Safari Park or you go to Drayton Manor or something. This is Marcus's. Marcus is saying this about you, Jonathan, but he's the same. He'd be like, I've been Drayton Manor already. I don't need to go again. And I'm saying, look, we've now got Sienna. Okay, let's make it special for Sienna, and let's go and so we'll go and we'll take Sienna, and then obviously Savannah's grown now, so we're like, oh, let's go again and let's take Savannah, new experience. But we went there already. Yeah, but it's for Savannah.
Nah.
So
I think we get that new experience feeling when they experience it.
Exactly.
We're seeing that.
No, I get that, and I'm all for that. Like Michaela is saying, I'm all for that.
Through them.
Yeah.
It's just
like roller coasters, just Jacob being able to reach the height we should go on a roller coaster now.
We were so gassed over it, like we literally put his Air Maxes on, like to give him a little bit more height.
Yes.
We were like, yeah, we were so happy. Like, we've been on the ride several times.
Yeah.
Oh. The thing with Dion, I'm not like, in my defense, I understand all of that, and I'm all for that. The difference is Dion will want to go every year or twice a year, and I'm like, well, why? Like, they've experienced it. Why do we need to go? Oh, but they've got a new ride every year, or they've done something different, or they've changed. Like, the elephants had some babies, so we need to see the elephant babies every year, and it's like, why are we going every year?
No, that's not.
I believe you.
No, Cherie. No, it's not that bad. It's just that I think you know, when it comes to summertime is the time where the kids are out of school, and so, you know, you get to do experience, you get to give them experiences that you wouldn't normally have been able to do, because obviously it's school, you come home, you read your book, you go to bed, like, you know, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when it's holiday time, I think that's the time when they look forward to, where's mommy gonna take us? Are we gonna go Cadbury World? Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do that?
Yeah, but I kind of feel like we make it too mundane, because it's what's easy. Like, we need to step outside of the box and
So
try
Marcus
something
wants
new with
to
the
take
family.
his children rock climbing, or you want to take them canoeing, or you want to take them what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but my thing is, your children are tiny. Like, they're not that age yet.
No, but there's listen, I seen a video the other day of a 4-year-old kid skateboarding.
Well, that's excellent.
With
Try
her-
put my child on the skateboard.
with her dad. Or I seen a 16-month baby water skiing with his dad. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna do those crazy things, but
You just say 60 months.
16 months, 16 months old.
1-6.
Oh.
So
Not okay.
I'm not saying to do that madness, but I'm just saying we need to kind of step outside the box, and instead of doing the easy things, because you know
that's true.
those things are there every year, let's try something different. So I guess that's leading into the whole try something new, innit?
Okay, so watch this space, guys. I'll let you know what the new activity is. Sorry, Cherie, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what does that look like without children then? Like, what's new experiences? What kind of new experiences can you have together if you don't have children? Like, without children, not living through them, and
I
doing
love
things
to
that
travel.
I haven't done.
That was my thing. It was traveling. It was traveling and seeing new things and seeing new places. For me, I don't know. Kenya, Mario, what do you think?
Yeah, you're the childrenless couple.
Yeah, I can't imagine having children. I just can't. It just scares me a
Well,
little
if she keeps modelling in front of the gym, that might not happen. It might not stay that way.
Yeah, I just can't imagine living my experience through a child.
You're not living your experience.
Basically.
Now, in terms of, for us, in terms of new experiences, it's Kenya's very similar in the sense that she likes to travel and all that kind of stuff. She's meant to be going to Jamaica in November.
So, yeah, okay, carry on.
And like, I'm kind of like Jonathan in the sense of, I am very much a person is, if I'm happy right now, let me just not change the formula and let me stay happy right now. So I don't like to, not that I don't like to try new things, but I know there's specific things that I want to try. I'm not just, let's try anything new. I know there's certain things that I know I want to try. But Kenya's very much, let's just try anything.
Yeah,
so
like,
try
something
balance.
different on the menu. Try.
Yeah.
Where Mario's like, well, no, why do I need to do that?
If I go to a restaurant, I like burgers. I'm gonna buy a burger every single time. Yeah. Kenya's gonna be trying. Kenya's gonna be out here talking about, I wanna try smoked salmon. Like, fair enough if you like smoked salmon.
Why
smoked salmon?
Why do you always call it smoked salmon?
I don't have anything against smoked salmon, but I like my food properly on the heat and cooked to it. Do you know what I mean? And people say smoked
He
salmon.
likes it
That's
dead
fine.
and then dead again, innit? You want it kill out, cook out.
Listen, mate.
I even put it to afternoon tea for him to try it, and he didn't try it after we paid how much money. I was furious.
Listen, and afternoon teas, what are they about? Like,
so we had the afternoon tea. We had the afternoon tea, and Mario was like, "Are they going to bring the main now?"
Yes, Mario.
But listen, I understand, and Kenya, and this is what I mean in terms of trying new things. This was quite big for me personally, because along with being a person that's like, let's just stick to what I enjoy, I'm also kind of very finance efficient, I like to call it, where like, if you say to me, let's go to an afternoon tea, let's get 3 miniature sandwiches that's about this big for £50, I'm gonna be like, okay, let me digest that
It's
first.
the experience,
and then
Mario. It's the experience.
Going on about this afternoon, so we got some nice pictures. The light was like...
It was fantastic. The experience was fantastic. But as I said before, like, I'm guilty of not being open to that, and that's something that I'm trying to improve for myself. But it's difficult for me because I don't know, like, growing up because of circumstances, I didn't have a lot of new experiences, so I got used to being in the rut of, you enjoy this, you can't really do anything else, so just continue doing this. So, but as I'm growing, I'm trying to do new things, but yeah.
Well, fair play to you. You went to have afternoon tea. That's big. You could have just stayed at home and
not only did I go to have afternoon tea, I went to have afternoon tea for £50+.
It's not about the money when it comes to relationships. It's like, oh, I've had that experience.
It was a fantastic experience.
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying there, Kenny, you know, because this is what I say to Marcus. It's not about the finance. It's about the experience.
That can come and go. Like.
Yeah, you create the memory.
Hey, next time, Mario, just buy some Hovis and make your own sandwiches.
No, it's not the same.
Listen, Marcus, they came out with 8 sandwiches this big and tea, you know.
After £50, you still left hungry.
Listen, I was mid-eating. I was like, Kenya, we're going 5 Guys.
Right, yeah. I feel like I couldn't go with Anthony. Anthony would just be so annoyed. He'd be like, what? What am I doing?
See, we were onto this kind of stuff anyway, because we went to Paris. I took Marcus to Paris for his 30th. And we had dinner on the Eiffel Tower. Now, because we're used to stuff like all this, what they call it, a la carte, this a la carte business, you know, like where a la carte, where's the food? Like that kind of business. So we said, well, we're going to an a la carte restaurant. Well, you know what? Let's eat first. So we went out and ate first, and it was the best decision we made because, the experience was wonderful. You know, you're on the Eiffel Tower, you sit in, the music's playing, and it's all nice and thick. And they brought out this food. Well, they brought out something.
Like two pieces of bean and some foam and that had flavour in it.
Foam. It was actually foam. It looked like sud from the bath.
Bare air. Just eating air, you know. Nah, man. No. Can't do that.
Exactly.
No.
But it was a fantastic experience.
It was an experience. So yeah.
Fantastic experience. One of them ones that if you breathe in too quick, you're gone.
Gone.
Oh, nah. But I as I said, like it's, and I think it can be pretty dangerous, especially for like, I feel like for men it can get pretty dangerous in the sense that we do get into the things that we like, and once we know what we like, and that is it. And it can get dangerous, and it has been sometimes for me, but it is definitely like good to be able to branch out and try different things, because Kenya's definitely opened my eyes to kind of new things and stuff like that.
I mean, it hasn't been hard for me. Mario's literally been like, play a game with me, and just get on the Xbox, put the earphones on. Sometimes he streams with me on, and like his followers like to see his wife, like all that's nice. So
go there, Mario.
You know what I mean? Gotta bring a little sunshine into the world.
That's nice.
So if we look at points 3 and 4, so point 3 was show love and don't hold back. And 4 was keep your identity as an individual. So I think both of us, if we go first with that, I think showing love, we've spoken before about like our love language, and mine's definitely physical touch. So I'm always like wanting a cuddle, and to me, that's my way of showing him that I love him. And like doing things for him as well, like acts of service. So I will actually make an effort to do those things to make sure that he knows. Like I always think to myself, I know it's going to sound bad coming out, but I always think that if that was our last moment, because we don't know what is to come or, you know, what would happen when you leave for work, I always want to make sure that there is no doubt that he knew that I loved him. Or do you know what I mean? Like I always think like that. And sometimes I think, oh, Cherie, stop being so like morbid, but it is true. Like you just don't know. So like even when I go,
I'm like that.
It's just little things. Like I just always want him to know that I appreciate him for everything he does for me, for our family, and that I love him. And the other point about keeping your identity, that's something I really struggle with. So keeping your identity, not more about like being an individual as well as being like within your relationship. I'm quite happy just to sit at home and just be in my little home bubble. And he's always telling me off about it, saying, do something for you, go and do something that's just for you, like go out, go do this, go do that. And I'm like, but why? I'm happy here. But yeah, so yeah, those are the
Get out, I want to play Xbox.
Basically, he wants me out of it. Those are obviously points to look for. So like showing love and not holding back. I think some people as well like think that they don't want to make themselves vulnerable by showing love. But that's not a healthy way to be, I would say. Anyone else?
Only recently, like we like did some surveys, some love language survey or something, didn't we?
Yeah.
I forgot how we done it. But like, I didn't even really know about this love language stuff before. I heard about it, but I never actually I didn't know about it properly. So there was like a quiz where you work out, like loads of questions, you work out which one you are. And it's funny because like love languages that we thought each other was anyway, like we were right about it. And it's kind of like what Cherie's saying, just kind of doing those things that you know the person will appreciate or know that you love them.
That's what I think was good about the love language thing, is it gave names to it.
Yeah.
So you could be a bit more explicit and conscious about doing them. Yeah. Because they have names to them.
Yeah. I think that was really important thing that we picked up in our season 1 stuff with the love languages, like you're saying. It's important to, as a couple, find out what they are and also begin to develop and understand how they either mold into another one and how they transition throughout time as well. So that's really good. I mean, in terms of the individuality, I guess that's important to have that individuality in terms of having our me time, having time for yourself. Like Jonathan was saying, okay, he wants to either play on Xbox and try and get Cherie to go and do something else. I think Dion and I are similar in terms of, and even if it's something like even going to the gym, Dion would be very focused on family. And it's kind of like, just don't worry about the girls, you go, have your time, and then I'll go later. Just breaking out of the mold of work and coming home and you do the family stuff, food, prep for bed, and then you either sit down or you're too tired by the end of it, so you just want to go to bed. So it's just important to make that time.
Bringing up a point, going back to a point that Cherie had mentioned, where we were talking about like not holding back with your love. Like I find that I do that sometimes because, I would say to Marcus, like, I feel like I love you too much. It's almost like and because I'm loving him so much, I just, like Cherie saying, you just want to be there, you just want to do, and it's almost like it's stifling, and you have to kind of be like, oh, let me just give you a minute, and he'll be like, Dion, I'm here, I'm right here, but you're not right here, and it's like it's almost too much, and then I get myself worked up because I don't understand why he's not understanding what I'm saying, like it's just. Yeah, so I don't think it's healthy all the time. Like you said, Cherie, I find myself in that position too. I experience that a lot.
Yeah, have me time and we time.
Yeah.
Kenya, you were gonna say something, Kenya?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like Cherie, I live like tomorrow's not promised all the time. So being away from Mario, because Mario does that thing as well, where he's like, babe, I love it when you're just down here doing your own thing. And he comes and visit me and he's like, oh, look at you singing away. And I'm just like, well, I want to be up there with you on your Xbox in front of all your followers.
Hey, Kenya, can you tell Dion to do that, please? And can you tell Cherie to do that, please?
No, you see what Kenya, what Marcus does, you see the whole checking up thing? That's what Marcus does. I won't hear nothing. And he'll be up there in the loft playing, doing his thing in his man cave. and then I would have called him about 25 minutes ago, half an hour ago. He'll come down and he'll go, "Oh, you okay, D? I called you ages ago. Don't come and check up on me to see if I'm okay. Like, you're just pretending. Don't. It's just and then I won't see him again for another half an hour, and then he'll pop out again. Oh, you okay? No,
that's being spontaneous, D.
No, it's not.
He's giving you a call that time.
Preach,
If you don't know when he's coming, then now, you're right, D.
Yes, Mario.
I don't want that spontaneity.
No, thank you.
That's checking up on me, man. Okay, so points 5 and 6. We're just gonna rush through now because of time. Don't be defensive. Engage in open communication. So that's one area. And then the next area, number 6, was to remember to be generous. Now, don't be defensive. Engage in open communication. Boy.
I'd say for me personally, I know after being with Kenya for years, and you kind of get used to how they speak, and you almost get used to their natural cues that they do.
Who's there? Huh? Sorry, ignore me.
Talking about women.
Talking about women in general.
You know what I mean?
Kenya stays ready, you know.
Sorry.
You get used to kind of cues that they do in their voice or in their face, and then you preemptively become defensive because you're used to those cues. And sometimes they'll do those cues out of habit, and they won't necessarily be kind of being offensive to kind of come and talk in a certain way. So I think for me personally, I've struggled with not being defensive, because sometimes it feels like being 100%. Sometimes it feels like when you're talking, sometimes it feels like Kenya's might be coming for me because she's upset at me for whatever reason. And sometimes I naturally get built up defense and be like, oh, why are you talking to me like this, or why are you doing this? But it's not. She's not doing it out of being upset or whatever. She's just generally asking me, but because I'm used to her facial cues or a certain thing that she may say, I'm kind of preemptively thinking of something that isn't necessarily coming. So I know for me personally.
So
Mario,
Mario,
the rules and you laughed at you.
So Mario, next time you feel like that, here's something that you can do. Just twitch your eye. Just mind your business. Just mind your business. No, Dion's right. I've got a list of rules. Well, it was funny. It's a funny story because she seen it in the shop and said, "Marcus, you need that for your man cave." So when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, okay then." So it's basically a list of rules of how to read women. So when she says no, she means yes, and all those sort of little things. So when I say, "Babe, are you okay?" and she says, "Yeah," it means no, she's not. Come downstairs and that. So I'll share that with you guys.
Yeah, we'll take a picture of it, share it. Anyone else want to say anything about being defensive not being defensive?
I can relate to that. You know, like when you know each other so well, to the extent in which you can kind of run an argument through your head that you actually haven't had yet.
Yeah.
And it's something to watch that week. And the person hasn't said anything, and you've already run the argument through.
Yeah, man. That's like Shavie said, you know, staying ready. You're always just ready then, because you're ready for whatever outcome. If she says this, then I know that's going to happen, and I'll do this. And I think that's a good thing. That's sensible.
Well, Shavie, what was it that you said in one of our season 1 episodes? There was something that you and Jonathan say to each other when you're going into that argument stage. What was it?
Oh, yeah.
It's not
that serious.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's it. In the grand scheme of things. So based on what Anthony was saying there, if we know each other that much that the argument goes round in our heads already, then it may as well come to that point of saying, well, is it actually worth it?
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things.
There's sometimes it's exactly what everyone said. There's situations like something will. Like maybe something hasn't been done, or I wanted Jonathan to do something, but I probably didn't even tell him, and he hasn't done it. So clearly I'm upset, but he didn't know I wanted him to do it. And I'll run through the argument in my head. So okay, so if I say this is what he's gonna say. and then I'm going to get annoyed at you for saying that, and I'm going to say this, and then actually I'm just going to end up feeling really annoyed, and the situation's still not resolved. So
that happens in your head?
Yeah, and then I think to myself, pointless. So I'll just like try and be quiet. Obviously, I don't do it all the time. There are times where I will say things.
No, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We know.
Or she'll just phone me instead, Jonathan. She'll she'll just phone me instead, and she'll go right.
And I'll tell her exactly how it will play, and I'll say so it's pointless. And she'll be like, yeah,
don't bother.
Like so, yeah. You know, when you've been with someone for so long, you just know. And our thing is it worth it really?
I think it's important to know those cues though, because as you say, you can't fight fire with fire. You know, so if you know that you saying something is gonna make your partner respond in a way that everything is just gonna explode, it's almost like, you know, just pick your battles in it, like decide whether it's actually worth it. At times I'll sit there and I'll just look at Marcus and then I'll go, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And the fact that I've said I'm not gonna do it, and he's heard me say I'm not gonna do it. What now?
Listen, them cues are serious, you know. You know them cues when like the person starts cleaning loudly,
slamming and banging. You
know it's about to go off. You know you're waiting. You know. You're waiting. It's all in your head. So you're waiting for that one little sound, like if she coughs or something. What are you coughing for? What now? What have I done now?
Why are you hearing at 2 in the morning? Why are you hearing at 2 in the morning? Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Or you do it.
They're trying to sleep, you know, knowing I've got work the next morning. I'm like...
Yo, them cues there, you know. Passive aggressive.
So, guys, we've hit our time. We've come to the end of another show. Season 2, episode 1. Keeping the spark alive. I guess what we've talked about today kind of brings us to the conclusion that, yes, it may not always be something easy to do, but it's important that we do try to keep the spark alive in whatever way possible. Yeah, we talk about the honeymoon period, and you might go through the honeymoon period, but the honeymoon period itself is as long as you decide to make it in your relationship. We got to fight for that period, if anything. We got to make sure that we outlove each other. Yeah. Make sure that we say those words of, in the grand scheme of thing, is it worth kind of breaking up? Well, okay, it's not breaking up the relationship in a negative way, but having an argument for no reason.
Breaking up the bliss.
There you go. Breaking up the bliss. So, you know, guys, think about it. Sit down and talk with each other. Get to know each other. Get to know each other's love languages, and look for those cues to understand each other. But most importantly, do what you can. Be spontaneous to keep that spark alive, and everything should be good.
Yeah, man.
Everything should be good.
So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much to the Bantons. Yeah. We know, what time is it now?
Midnight.
Woo!
Yeah, 10 past.
Wow, we appreciate you so much. And thank you so much for coming on and just for sharing some gems with everyone. We thank you to Mario and Kenya for just being amazing as well.
Thank you.
And for all the little gems that you've shared. It's been great having you on. Thank you so much. And also, obviously, to our co-hosts, Cherie and Jonathan. We love you.
What's going on?
What? Oh, was you jealous? Sorry. Cherie and Jonathan, we couldn't do it without you. We love you and appreciate you too. So, hand it over to you guys.
Right, so don't forget, obviously, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Our Instagram and Facebook handles are Can You Just Talk 20, and YouTube CanYouJustTalk.com. Can we just talk.com. So please get on each page, like, subscribe, share it, get involved, put comments. But yeah, just get involved in the conversation, the topics and stuff. And on that note, we will pray. We just bow our heads. Dear Father in heaven, thank you again for steering the conversation where you wanted it to go. Thank you for giving us the knowledge and understanding and giving us relationships where we can share interests and advice with others as well, Lord. Bless us now. Bless the Bantons as they go back to sleep. Help them to have a good night's sleep, feel refreshed and not too tired, and look after all of us as we continue with our evening. Bless us in the holy precious name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, thank you.
See you later, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
See you guys later.